Hello, I am Brian Kurth with Revere Skills-Based Volunteering Software, and welcome to 3 Tips in 3 Minutes for CSR Leaders. And with me today is Carolyn Berkowitz of ACCP. Carolyn, welcome on board.
Thank you, Brian, for having me.
We look forward to your 3 tips, but first, explain what ACCP is all about.
Sure. ACCP is an association that companies can join, and we support CSR professionals, ESG professionals, and help them do the work that they are doing better. So we share knowledge, we foster solutions, and a differentiator is that we really build a community of colleagues that people can stick with and learn from throughout their career.
An awesome organization, and thrilled that you're going to be hosting your conference later this year here in Colorado, in Denver. So for
in Denver in October.
In October. So we'll see you then. But
I hope so.
First, your 3 tips. What is tip number 1 for you?
Okay. So tip number 1 is to advocate for including one question about CSR or about your work and community in your company's all associate or all employee engagement survey. So why do you do that? You need to have data of your own about your own company that will then demonstrate how much your work impacts retention, it impacts engagement, it impacts loyalty, and it provides meaning. And so if you have just one question in there, something can be as simple as, I feel good about the way XYZ company participates in the community, or I find meaning in our company's community work. And then if you cross-tab that with any of the engagement drivers, then you will have real hard information about a stakeholder group that people really care about.
That's awesome, because one thing I've learned, there's no 2 companies alike. Every company really does have its own culture.
Absolutely. And there's lots of great information out there about why this works and that it is valuable. But when you couple that generic information with your own company's data, you make the point in a way that you couldn't otherwise possibly do.
Awesome. Point number 2, tip number 2.
Tip number 2, build a network of champions across the company who understand the business value of your programs and let them do the work for you of engaging others. Excuse me. So start by getting them involved, because the real experience that they feel will build the passion so that it is genuine and authentic. And then make sure that they understand how this work that they love and that they're passionate about helps them achieve business goals. So how does it help the business? How does it help the employees? How does it help, all of the things that you learned in the survey? And by doing that, they will be influencers around the company. So when you're picking your few, make sure that you have different businesses, different age groups, different peer groups, and let them do the hard lifting.
And you have to have that stakeholdership at the top level, but this can all be driven stakeholdership at C-suite down to the associate level, but it also can be associate level up as well.
Correct. And associate level up is what is happening now. The associates are using their power and using the employment market to be very clear about the kind of company that they want to work for. And there are lots of statistics about it, which I can share a link with you on.
Perfect. Tip number 3, Carolyn.
Tip number 3, to climb the ladder of leadership, you must understand ESG and you must understand DEI. All the letters that are different, they are nuanced differently. CSR is not dying. People ask me all the time, is CSR going away? No, it isn't. But leaders are expected to have broadened experience as these 3 critical issues or 3 critical functions in a company overlap and work together. So know the language, understand why it's important, and know the trends, and then you can start to try your hand on it. The top jobs are not going to CSR anymore alone. Somebody who leads ESG or leads CSR and DEI has that top job and then has lots of grant makers and volunteer leaders and managers underneath.
It's so true. Totally agree. Awesome. Carolyn, thank you so much for your 3 tips in 3 minutes for CSR leaders today. If folks want to reach out to you and ask you a personal question and or perhaps even inquire about membership in ACCP, how should they go about doing that?
Absolutely. You can email me at cberkowitz, no dots, all small letters, at ACCP.org. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. And I do hope to hear from folks. We would love to work with you. And if we're already working with you, let me know you heard this.
Awesome. Carolyn, as always, great to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
today,
Brian.
And look forward to seeing you in October in Denver.
Great.